Greetings and salutations. My name is Tish and welcome to the Art of Saving. In this video, I'm going to be making an envelope journal. I'm using what's left of an envelope from Amazon, and we're going to do some interesting things with this. I have ideas. So I got everything within arm's reach, so let's get down to it. All right, we got a few repairs that we need to do this envelope because I took the labels off because I didn't want to have the labels on it, and it was just really kind of annoying me that it kept ripping, and I should have hit it with the heat gun first, but you know, I'm impatient and I'm me and I'm ADHD, so you know, there's only so much a girl can take. So, hey, this one came off really nicely. Why didn't all the rest of them come off that nicely? Anyway, I have an idea for this, and oh goodness, there we go. I just put new paper down. So we're gonna take some glue stick here, and we're just gonna, because this has two layers, so this isn't a hole all the way through, it's just a hole partially through. So well, this guy's fried, but we could still use him. We're just gonna glue this guy down. I'm gonna cut this piece off. It's not going to quite fit in there, but it'll fit for our purposes because this piece is sticky and it's going to annoy the crap out of me. So I'm going to line up this top edge with the cut edge and squish it down. There we go. Now I can take the sticky piece and put it in the bin. And that's mostly even. Okay. Now here is my design idea. So we're gonna have to cut one of them off because I don't want it. I don't want this big, you know, like this big. But so we're gonna cut it at 9, or we could fold it and make pockets on the inside. But I was thinking, since it's an envelope, it'd be kind of cool to do those tuck spots that are built in. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. So, and then, yeah, so we're going to take one edge off. And turn this turn this inside out. Like so. All right, so this is our front edge. So we're just going to do some score marks here. So we'll mark it at 6. And I think we'll do 7. So 6 inch for the cover and 1 inch spine. Okay. Well, that was a thing. So I'm going to cut. fold this. And we'll fold this. Okay, and then we're gonna cut this piece off. Just this little piece right here. So, well, that might be kind of cool to have that. Yeah, let's just cut this little piece off. No, let's mark this at 6. Okay. These might be fun to keep. So we have our base. What I was thinking is we can put little pockets here, like, so they come inside the journal. I know what I want to do, I just don't know how I want to do it. Well, let's start making some measurements. Let's do here and here. Then we're going to come down. Then we're going to come down at 2, 4, and 6. And again. Close enough. Okay. I'm going to take the crocodile and we're going to turn this to the 3/16 punch. Punch a hole there. Punch a hole there. All right. So now we're going to take the roller, and I've got this little cutting mat, and I'll use the little cutting mat, and we're going to cut from the top of this circle to the top of this circle, from the bottom of this circle to the bottom of that circle. But before we do that, I want to reinforce this a little bit. So I've got some fabric tape here. It doesn't matter that it has some overspray on it because it's going to get covered up anyway. And we're just going to take some glue stick, put it down just to make sure it adheres well. All right. And lay that down. And then we line this up with the bottom of that circle and the bottom of that circle. Now, I ripped the fabric or the paper a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that because we can come back in there with something else. I've got some of these Avery hole reinforcement labels. So let's put a couple of those on here. Okay, so we're going to put a little piece of washi tape there. Okay, now because this is really sticky, I'm just going to take and I'm going to put some paper tape here. Not because I want it to be reinforced anymore, I just don't want people's papers to stick. So we're just going to put something like that. And then we're just going to do a little bit of grunge. Now we've got a plan. We're going to put paper here, and then another piece of paper here, and another piece of paper here. So I'll put this paper here. We are going to glue this piece on here. Now you could do really pretty paper and whatever, but I'm just going to use craft paper because I'm going to paint this whole thing. So the goal here is you put in this pocket, it will stay in that pocket, and then you put it in this pocket and see that you don't see the black paper. And then this pocket, you don't see the black paper either in either one of these. I'm going to take those off and I'll put this right here. We're going to glue all 4 edges of this. And then this page goes on here like that. See, now we could have glued these 2 pages together and did the whole thing with this, and that's probably what I'll do next time. But I'm used to doing this to an envelope, like an actual like manila envelope. So that's where my brain went. We'll fold this up. There. So we're going to leave the back cover just one big pocket. We're going to put a pocket right here. But I wanted to get this. So we're going to put a piece of fabric tape here just to reinforce it. The same thing, but we're just going to do one pocket right here. So we're going to measure. We're going to do a pocket right about there. That seems like a good spot. 1 1/4, 1 1/4. When we do this, we're going to do glue right here and up here and down the edge and on the edge here. We'll fold this over and we'll pull it as we squish it. We're going to punch our 2 holes. All right, now I'm going to put these on. This time I'm going to put a little bit of glue on them because that one didn't want to stick, so let's put a little glue. Got a piece of paper ready to go right here. I'll act as more of a reface so this won't get in the way. Let's get this cut. So we're going to glue down the back, but we're only going to glue like the center pieces because I'm going to paint this and then I'm going to stitch around the edges of it. All right, we're going to let this dry for a moment. I'm going to clean up the desk and we'll bring the spray in. I've got some alcohol and some of the blue that I mixed in my last video, or in my paint mixing video. I got the dark teal, and I want to do a little bit of the darker brown, and then I might come in with some green gold. Of course, we always have to have coffee. So what I like to do when I'm doing this is I put a drop cloth out so I don't spray all my tools, and I just have at it. There we go. That side's mostly dry. There's still a little damp edges, but I think I'm going to spray a little in here. We're going to let that sit for a minute and let it kind of soak in, do its thing. Actually, I'm going to do this edge and this edge. All right, I'm going to take this out very carefully. Make sure none of it bled over on this side. It did a little bit, so we can press some of that off. There we go. We're just going to press. There we go. All right, we're going to let that dry. This is finally dry, and I stitch around the edges just to help keep all the multiple layers together. I also inked where I think it needed to be inked, and I think it turned out really cool. I love how it kind of looks like rust and everything. So I measured out for the signatures. I picked out signatures, and I got some hemp cord ready. I got my awl and my little piece of foam here ready, and everything ready to go. So I will go ahead and start getting things punched and sewn in. Well, it's finally complete, and I really like how this all turned out. I like these pockets. I probably will lay it flat um, and let it uh, kind of rest, find its memory. But this is so cool that all of that can stick in there. Look at that. Ha ha ha. And when I'm doing these kinds of journals and stuff, I like to have the top edge meet and the bottom edge not so much, because I find that when you put it in your bag, it kind of protects these pages. So, but if you aren't like me and are hard on your things, line it up directly. I mean, I can do that too. But I put in some coffee dyed paper. These are from the Rainbow Lined collection on my coffee. At least I think it's on there. If not, it's going to be up there really soon. I got some boating pages because I thought that was fun, and some graph paper, and another line page. And that's what you have in the middle is some line pages. And then this page, because it's a little bit bigger, I had it folded up in there. Had to put some washi tape on it because it wanted to rip when I folded it. And then we have more line pages, more coffee dyed pages. And if you don't have a recipe for coffee dyeing, I got a video out now that has my recipe and my technique that's super fast and gets you really cool results. So yeah, I love the red pages. I think they're cool. And then there's that, and then just reversed back in the way. I think it's got a good mix of pages for someone to fill up. There in each signature, there are 7 sheets of paper, so 14 sheets paper in this journal. And then we have this big pocket back here. So we can put that in there, and then the back cover. And it looks like, it's all rusty, like a old Ford pickup truck. If you take this inspiration and run with it. Let me know how far you run by letting me know in the comments or follow me on Instagram. Love you guys. I hope you have someone that you can say I love you to, you know?